Hello, NAVFAC Southeast. I'm Lieutenant Commander Nathan Chenarak. This brief will discuss Operation Security, also known as OPSEC. I'll highlight three main areas. 1, Operation Security Overview. 2, how it applies to NAVFAC Southeast and your role in the OPSEC program. OPSEC is the process that denies our adversaries information about our capabilities and intentions by protecting relevant indicators and observables. The OPSEC program outlines a 5-step process that effectively safeguards controlled information when used properly. These steps are 1, identification of critical information, 2, analysis of threats, 3, analysis of vulnerabilities, 4, assessment of risk, and lastly, 5, application of OPSEC measures and countermeasures. So what are adversaries looking for? It can vary. However, items such as present and future operations to include times of operational movements, participating units, and projected locations. Information about military facilities to include location, number of personnel, ammo depot locations, temporary operational locations, and vulnerabilities during those time frames. Additionally, information about technology capabilities to include development timelines and associated capabilities and limitations. All of these are examples of critical information. Critical information are items that can be pieced together by our adversaries that they can use to target us. While some information may seem harmless and can be considered unclassified, it must be safeguarded to protect the overall picture. As a systems command, NAVFAC Southeast handles facility and infrastructure operations on the shore side. We are not an operational unit. However, in the capacity of our positions, we may have critical information about fleet operations to include movements of military personnel, maritime operations, and operational limitations associated with infrastructure and construction. There are many critical information and indicators that you face while performing your duties listed in the NAVFAC Southeast 3070.2 instruction. I encourage you all to become familiar with the instruction as it pertains to you. Here are a few top examples from each business line or support line. Operations. Information deemed critical by supported commands supplied to NAVFAC Southeast to provide its engineering products and services. Information revealing threats, hazards, and known vulnerabilities of assets, systems, and capabilities that could cause substantial degradation or failure of NAVFAC operations. Mission assurance information revealing risk management strategies applied to NAVFAC mission assurance posture and practices. Design and construction. Design information containing explosive weights. Site security plans. Photographs of restricted areas. Environmental. Audit information including IG and external environmental management systems and environmental compliance audit reports and outbriefs. Documentations of briefings and reports on critical environmental issues. Environmental plans and records required per regulation or Navy policy. Planning and National Environmental Policy Act documentation. Public Works, critical energy infrastructure information, engineering vulnerability or detailed design information about proposed or existing critical infrastructure relating to the production, generation, transportation, transmission, or distribution of energy. Water assessment vulnerabilities, risks and security of public drinking water systems. Asset management, geospatial intelligence, explosive safety site approval information, in-leases information for military tenants or activities of installations with waived anti-terrorism force protection requirements. Infrastructure gaps impacting operating capabilities, for example, DD 1391 documentation. Command Information Office, IP addresses and asset IDs of government-issued cell phones. IP addresses and asset IDs of government-issued computers. Information related to the status of NAVFAC-owned and operated information technology and operational technology assets. High-level schematics, drawings, flowcharts, CONOPS relating to business systems and IT/OT assets. Information related to assets and inspections of systems and networks, trainings, techniques, tactical procedures to operate, maintain individual network systems, and supporting software. Financial management. Information involving budget books, exhibit submissions, issues, and decision papers. Emergency requisition of funds, or loss of funding until public release. Security. Information on sensitive compartmentalized information facilities, also known as SCIFs. Locations of controlled or restricted areas. Security procedures for access into NAVFAC Southeast facilities. Personnel. Personnel privacy issues or identifiers to include contact information, identification and relation of command personnel with security badge, security clearances, or access, personal identification numbers, and special projects. Please note that this is not an all-encompassing list of critical information and indicators. All critical information needs to be handled appropriately. Please ensure that these documents are shredded when you are done with them. Do not throw them in the trash or in the recycling bins. Vulnerabilities are weaknesses that an adversary will exploit to gain our critical information. Even though our organization does not have much critical information, our supported commanders and customers do. We must treat that information accordingly. Some common vulnerabilities include lack of awareness, social media, social engineering, data aggregation, technology, trash, poor policy enforcement, unsecure communications, predictable actions and patterns. Never forget that as a member of the NAVFAC Southeast team, you are responsible for maintaining operational security. To ensure this happens, the FEC conducts annual OPSEC instruction inspections every 3 years for each PWD. Look for your PWD in the schedule here. In addition to this brief, OPSEC training is an annual requirement which will provide a broader picture of the OPSEC program and more examples. As a NAVFAC Southeast employee, it is important that you understand your responsibility as outlined in the NAVFAC Southeast Instruction 3070.2. You need to ensure that your family members are familiar with the significance of protecting information and are also expected that they comply with DoD regulations. If there are any additional questions, please refer to the NAVFAC Southeast Instruction 3070.2, Operations Security Program, or feel free to contact the Operational Security Program Manager. Thank you for your time, and welcome to the command.